Hi everybody, my name is Anibal Azevedo and now we are back to the class number 7 of the third track about how we can create some artificial intelligence to operate more efficiently the container port logistics. So this class we're gonna use again the things that we developed in the first track. If you didn't see the first track, it will appears occur somewhere. And also we're gonna need the things that we defined, the rules that we defined, unloading and loading rules that we defined in the second track, so it appears occur somewhere. And in description of this video we have all code that we made during these two tracks that we're gonna need are in the description of this video. Also, the code of this class is in the description of this video. So let's start code now. And here we have the environment, the Google Colab notebook. I gonna execute these cells because this cell contains the definition of the container ship class, the class that we allow us to store containers inside a container ship and represent and draw this. Also, we have a second the code of several code about unloading and loading rules. So we're gonna activate also this. So just play, click on the play button, and our code will be loaded in the memory of this notebook. And finally here, we're gonna put the code, the necessary code that we need here. And this code is important. Why? Because in the previously class, if you didn't see the previously class, it's also important to appear as a car somewhere. And in the previously class, we developed a code, this code, where we can translate integer number into another combination of numbers that represent a combination of rules. For example, for the integer number 1, we can decode this as 111, which means that we're gonna apply the first unloading rule, then the first loading rule, and then the first quake rain rule. So we can use this code to get all possible combinations of rules in a very uh, small function that translates integer numbers to rules. Okay, so now it's not clear how we can use this as a function, because each integer number that we translate, we must use also a string, where this string variable will be the name of the function, the unloading or loading or quake rain operation rule. So how we can get this? We also need an additional code to set the initial container ship space. So we're gonna start now. So let's code now. So, also, I'm gonna need to make more zoom to make more easy to see this screen. Okay. So and the code obviously. So here you get more zoom. Now it's more easy to see what we are doing. So, okay, now we're gonna create a container ship. So this container ship will be empty. So this is the constructor of the class that of the container ship. So we can just create, and I did the initial container ship space of the container ship, initial container ship on port 1. We're gonna get this draw this picture. So let's see what happens if we use this. So we're gonna draw the initial. This container ship has 2 bays and 3 rows and 4 columns. Okay, so this is the container ship that we created here. Let's see that it's not empty, because we get previously arrangements, container ship arrangements from this second section, okay? So if you want an empty container ship, you must use this. Imagine that we are wanting some empty container ship, so you must use ship equals to NP. NP is the just nickname for NumPy. Import NumPy as NP. So, and we can set that the container ship, we can set the cargo of the container ship, set cargo map with ship. Okay. So by doing this, this initial container ship will be set to 0. So there is no container there. There are no containers. No containers there. Okay. So what we should do now, just to create an interesting environment, we can fill this variable ship with some cargo. Okay. So let's do it. Remember that all things that I'm doing now are on the description of this video, so you can you don't need to copy everything. You can get all the code and modify it to understand it, or to see the video and modify the complete code. It will be a very interesting strategy to learn the code. So here we have just zeros, and here we are filling the container ship with some cargo. Let's see what happens if we do this. So now our container ship, we control the initial arrangement of cargo inside the container ship. And this initial arrangement of container ship, it's interesting because in the second port, we must remove this container, also this blocking container, and this container and the blocking container 4. So now we have completed the setting up of the to test the unloading rule. Let's suppose that we are in port 2, okay, port 2, and we are trying to evaluate the unloading rule number 1. So the rule will be a composition of a string, unload rule, and the number inside the variable none will be converted to a string to form a new string that will be stored in the variable rule. So the variable rule will have the complete name of the unloading rule. So remember that, okay, that we got this string. So remember from previously class that we can use an integer number, and this translate number to rules function to get all possible numbers for each rule, each combination of rules, okay? So we can get these numbers and just use this transformation string plus the string, the number inside this variable converted to a string, and get the number of the function that we should apply to the container ship at this port, for example. So let's try to use it. But now we're gonna use how we can use this name inside this function. We can use this special command eval rule, and we can use these parameters for the rule, unloading rule. So we just use the string inside this variable to apply a function to these two parameters, okay? So let's see what happens. Let's do it by using some messages. So I will need some information about it. Number of movements will be the result inside this variable and move. And also we need to print cargo to be reloaded will be this, back, and then finally print. Let's print. After unloading operation, import P. So now we're gonna have a complete report of what happened after applied this unloading rule, which is a combination of numbers and string. So what we get here is after unload operation port 2, we must reload a container which destination is port 3 and 4. Okay, so it's here 3 and 4 because they are blocking containers, and we perform 7 movements. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what happened to the container ship? How they look like after performing this unload operation? Here we don't have these 2 blocking containers, and also the blue containers which destination is port 2. So this is a very powerful thing that we can use combined with the encoding that we described in previously class, and we're gonna use also this to the loading rule. So the key of that enables us to employ this encoding development and can customize for each context which rule we should use or apply, which are the database of unloading or loading rules. This is the very important thing that we're gonna use in the construction of the simulator. So in the next class, we're gonna show also how we can employ this scheme that we described here for in the context of loading rules. So how we can apply this also to the loading rules. That will be very straightforward, will be very simple, since we developed the most of work at this video. So it will be a more a very short video, but very important also because we need unloading rules and loading rules also to operate our a simulator. So I hope you find this video interesting and useful, and see you on the next video. Bye. Thank you for your attention. Bye.